1 p.m. Request to turn your cell phone down or silence them, and we get a roll call.
Commissioner Edelman,
Here.
Commissioner Whittington,
Here.
Commissioner Moore,
Here.
Mr. Prentice,
Here.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
Here, and the grants up of the legion. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Name standing, please. John.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day and thank you, Lord, for blessing the city in so many ways. And so we just are grateful and we just ask for your wisdom tonight. The agenda is long and a lot of different items. And so we just seek for wisdom in all the issues that need to be resolved in Jesus.
Okay, we did a motion for approval of the agenda. Motion, please.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment. Anybody want to stand? Give your name and you tell us what you want to talk about for 3 minutes. Somebody you want. Okay, sir, you can tell me about the church thing or whatever you want to do.
About
Well, later on, we'll go right through it so fast, you won't even know we went through it, so.
Well, yeah, it's just the thing that we invite the public out. We give back to school things to play games. And we also, and I noticed this year, we're probably gonna get more people because the other people that's been doing the same thing, they started charging now. Ours don't cost anything. As a matter of fact, we give all our stuff out for free. And we have hot dogs and chips and things like that. We got quite a good response from the public on that.
Thank you, I was not up there last year. Good deal. Anybody else call a comment? Nothing? Okay, moving on. Approval of the minutes for the regular council meeting held June 15, 2026 and July 6, 2026. Motion first.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Anybody opposed? Report of officers, we got, Tanya, you wanna start this? What do you want to be for? Oh, yeah, let's get approval of the claims paid from July 4, 2026 to July 17, 2026 for the amount of.
$495,981.71. Motion. Second.
Megan? Please.
Commissioner Whittington,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Prentice,
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman,
Yes.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, attorney's report.
It's on the agenda.
Nothing. Okay, now let's go to Tanya.
I just have a couple of things, Mayor. The first thing, I just wanted to thank the department heads publicly for our input. We invited Carrie Frank and Fairgrant and House Gazebo to participate in our department head level strategic planning activity last week. It was 2 hours on a Tuesday, really well spent. And then just a reminder that in about a month, the end of mid to late August, we do have our really long night from 2 to 7 p.m. with this board. So Megan to make sure that we get that properly posted so that we can plan it for them. We'll feed you guys dinner, but that will be kind of the bringing home together the student survey, the online survey, the public input that we asked everyone, all of this focal groups, the stakeholders, and then the department heads. So as we go, we kind of get information from more and more groups, and then by the time we meet with you guys on August 24th, we'll be really close to having a draft our first ever strategic. So, want to give you guys that update, and then also Chief Coons has a brief update. Adam Truman is on vacation, so he's not here to present the quarterly report for the police department. We handed out that quarterly report; it is available for your review. But Sergeant Pinell is here if there's anything you can answer, but I imagine there's nothing in there that he's gonna be able to help you with. It's a follow up with Chief. Anything else to add to that? All right, Chief, you want to provide a brief update?
Very brief, I know we're full, so I handed you some packets, just to let you know what we're gonna be doing for training this year. I have 3 people that go on what we call planning chief class, but it's more tactics and strategy. It's a 6-week online course. We're also gonna be doing an August fire apparatus engineer course. We already have 12 people signed up for it. We're gonna max out at 18. It's more geared for our people. Or we're inviting other departments, so especially the ones that close that we train with. So it goes in depth on pump operations, troubleshooting and stuff like that. And then we're gonna be doing vehicle rescue training, deals more with your heavier bus accidents, semis, stuff like that. Specialized tools, different ways to actually aid people with. In September, we're gonna be doing surface watercraft tech. My goal is to have everybody trained, but at least 1 or 2 persons per shift that have these disciplines. So we're always covered, at least start to mitigate that incident as mutual aid is coming in. So that's our goal, to get that, so every shift will have 1 or 2 people trained in these disciplines. Also with instructor 2, which will be coming up in the spring, and those give them once they get these certs, then they can help teach those. So there's different levels. Once you get instructor 2, then you can assist in training. And then advanced tech firefighter, which will be coming this fall. So we have a very full year by the end of this year to get everybody trained, but we are pushing hard. And I gotta give credit out to Captain Edgington. He's our training officer for the training division. He's the one that's been lining these things all up. We'll discuss it, but I want to make sure he gets credit for all of that. Lastly, second, 2 more. I want to make note that Mick Miller, the deputy chief, when we went with this slate image trend program, that we went to ourselves instead of that big pool that I brought up. He saved us $6,400 on the entire license, so we got it 50% cheaper than what it could. So he spent a lot of time negotiating with them and saved us a lot of money. So I wanted to give kudos to him, to you as a board, that these guys are pushing, not just trying to spend money, but they're negotiating and trying to find what's best for us and still get through these classes. You also see in your packets a couple guidelines that are gonna lead, they're not policies, they're guidelines. You can look at those later. I just wanted to kind of dump those in your lap. I have a ton more, but I just want to hit you with a couple every meeting and the guidelines to guide the guys as far as apparatus responses, officer responsibilities. And we just finished today delegating. Everybody's gonna have several assignments for what they're in charge of and who they report to. So I mean, it's a big sheet, anything from maintenance, hose testing, air packs, portable radios. So we have a delegation sheet that everybody knows, especially with the part-timers coming in, they'll know who to report to if there's a problem. So that's real quick, just wanted to keep you updated where we're at.
Thank you. Chief, I can tell you right now, very impressive progress we've made in such a short time, and what you and your management got down there, it's taking self away from.
Well, I appreciate it, and like I said, can't do it alone, it's the group, and just very proud of what they're doing, and I just gotta keep telling you where we're at, because you guys don't really know from the outside, and I want to make sure you're aware of it as much as possible.
Chief and I sat down a week ago, he was approaching his 100-day mark, and you'll remember at interview time, we asked him to come up with a 100-day plan. And it was kind of impressive, the amount of things he didn't really know he was getting into at that point, but he has almost completed every single item on his 100-day action plan. And the things that are not quite there yet, it's, in motion.
We'll give you one more.
Yeah, we'll give you 105 days.
I'll cancel with that other 17%.
Anyway, yes.
Thank you for that.
Thanks a lot, Chief. All right, anybody else? Okay, moving on to correspondence. City of South Beloit Access Control Project presentation by Tanner Danielson from Arcata, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was close, okay.
That's close. I can stand here, I don't know where I should be.
They're never like, to use,
Slides.
we do. We probably do.
More so in the packet.
Yes, everything is in the pack.
I guess I
I
can,
got a lot of everything back.
okay, I can reference them on my phone if you guys want me to.
They
We have
have,
trouble with
it's like
our,
5 or 6
we have
pages.
trouble with that thing, so
Okay,
when we're working with it and it's working, we're like leaving.
sounds good. So if you guys can see the slides, I'll go through it. They've been like shown kind of like with the scope of the. Oh, one second. Okay.
Yeah, this is what's in there.
Oh, okay. They've been shown how this. Yeah.
Not much detail. This was a project that we had budgeted for in capital for 2026.
Sure.
We weren't sure exactly all the details, but this is the package that Chief Sherman wanted to go after. It is the same package that the Village of Rockland uses in their police department. But we knew that between City Hall and PD, we wanted to do something to upgrade the access control. So this has been the path that we went down. We did get Laura pretty involved at one point to make sure, like, does this need to go out for bid? Do we need an RFP for this? We actually have to draft an RFP, then determine that all the pieces that were involved that already gone through the state bidding process, and that wasn't required. So this is the ask. It does come in under budget of what we budgeted in capital, but still, open to, want to make sure everyone's comfortable before we spend a pretty good amount of money upfront on what we had budgeted for this.
Yeah,
That's about how much.
so, yeah, the main things that Sonny asked me to present on are three players in the project and kind of like what our goals are. I guess that first picture, the reason why I have the one on there that shows like our whole platform. Is because the way that it works is it's kind of like a phone where, like me personally, I have the watch, I have the MacBook, I have the new phone, and it works with my watch from like 5 or 6 years ago. So same like type of concept that at some point we need to upgrade all the cameras. If you guys want to have more throughout the city, I think I see Public Works in here, right? Like it can all be in one place. So that's kind of what that slide is right there. Next slide would be. I just have to see it still. Yeah, the main thing, yeah,
Picture that.
yeah.
What we were looking at was the overview picture that has all the equipment. So now he's gonna move on and tell a little bit more.
Yeah, all we're doing sort of is access control, and then technically one of the intercoms, I think it got cut out from the side. That's also access camera as well. So I'll kind of like, I can answer questions about the platform if you guys have them, but next slide would be, I think, just the overview. Yeah, so then at some point too, me and Chief Sherman can get into more like license plates and things of that nature, where it's like not just securing City Hall, but like it can be more of like a public safety platform all in one place at some point. So of course, main thing now is the access control project at hand, but at some point it can be more than that, just all. So next slide.
And we do have several license plate reader, rows. We talked about buying a speed trailer and like, so there are some people like that could.
So this will all pretty straightforward, 11 access control points. 7 of those are going to be from wireless locks, so that's going to give them capability to know who's coming in and out, setting users to have certain access to certain places at certain times of day. 3 of them will be wired, and then one of them is going to be the intercom. So what that is it's our camera, like it can do all the same stuff that one of our regular cameras can do, but it's also acting as an access controller as well. I thought that that would be slow, but yeah, and then 5-year licenses for all of those. I had another slide over here which I would have shown, but just kind of showing more like what we could expand to in the future with the mobile setups and things of that nature. Warranties and logistics on the next page. I'd like to kind of show this. We do a 10-year hardware warranty on all of the hardware that we sell. So what that means is like, yeah, like if one of these wireless locks stops working how we said it would, we would send you a replacement at no cost to you guys. We usually have those RMAs completed within like 24 hours. So our pricing model is pretty simple: hardware and licensing. You're paying for the hardware, you're purchasing it, you're not leasing it. That's why we have a 10-year warranty on it. And then the software licensing is the only thing that you would pay after that. So we're doing 5 years here. we can do up to 10 years. I don't think that was entirely necessary. But 5 years to start, so pricing for this, bottom line one-time payment for the project was be $40,000. What's nice is like, since you're purchasing it, you will own all the hardware outright. And then I like to show that, like, okay, once it's installed and like it's been shipped to you, the only thing that you would pay for in 5 years is about $12,000 for another 5-year renewal. So the estimated 10-year cost would be about $52,000. So that's where we landed on that. I'm not sure if there's questions on that. I know I kind of went fast on that, but yeah, is there any questions you guys have so far?
Where does all this information go? I mean, you got the cameras,
Chief Freeman is the only person that has access to this, unless he delegates to things to also have control, but right now, the way that it works, Mayor, is if we need camera footage from any of the cameras that are in City Hall of PD, Chief Freeman has to make and initiate that gathering of information. One thing that this would allow him to do is remotely on his phone, similar to some of the upgrades that Jack has done at the treatment plant, where you have the ability to remotely allow people to enter a gate. Chief Sherman really liked that with a login, he can assign rights to any of the doors or any less of the doors. So, okay, the sergeants only can get, maybe just Paul, Detective Reed is the only one that can get into the evidence room, and maybe these other 2 people will have this day for. He can control all of that immediately through the software. The other thing that he can do is, right now, when we have an employee that they either terminate or they quit, it can really be a nightmare to reduce the liability of that employee re-entering City Hall or PD. If we fail to get their keys immediately, it can really become a nightmare. This allows him with an instant to change people's access immediately.
Yes, yeah, one click of a button, it can invalidate all of the credentials that any user might have. Like at my place to work, I use a fob. I have like 2 separate key cards, and I have my phone. With one click, I can be taken out of that, and I wouldn't have those levels of access like you said.
how long have you been in business?
Me here. Founded in 2016, fastest growing security company in the world. We're about it's being recorded, but we'll probably be public in the next year. Recent valuation was like $6 billion. So
That was my next question.
yeah.
How long are you gonna be in business? So if we pay 10 years, we wanna make sure we get, you're still around 10 years from now.
I'd be pretty hard pressed to do around 10 years. I would imagine next year would be a credit company. But yeah.
So getting on the ground floors.
What's that?
Going on the ground.
Mayor worked pretty
Yeah.
hard. He doesn't know what we budgeted, but he did do his job and get it, as reasonable upfront. Get all of the equipment purchased with the initial capital, and we need to have a number each year, each 5 years, however often we renew, that the city can still make in our operating budget, so he was able to. He made the numbers right.
Anybody else?
I noticed early on in one of the overviews, you mentioned a flock alternative.
Yeah.
So what do we got going on there? Because obviously flock's not going to.
Yeah, so we can compete with their technology, no questions asked. The only thing that kind of sets them apart is like that wide web of like, you can see a license plate like across the country on yours here, right? We don't allow that to happen necessarily, but what we do instead is we partner with NCIC. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that, but essentially it still lets you be a part of a wider network of like having meaningful hits on your license plate readers without actually like having access to someone else's camera system, if that makes sense. So it still lets these guys like use the license plate technology for what it's like intended for, without actually like being able to just like nefariously use it in like some way where it's like not even like you're not granted access to it, right? Like that's kind of a workaround, if that makes sense. Yeah.
This is more or less a police question, but
Yeah.
if you have a license plate they're looking for, is it, if they goes down our street and it catches it, does it go right to them then?
Yeah, and it can be set to like let certain users know that at certain times of the day if they're actually on staff. They can go in and set their own as like, hey, we want to know if we see this license plate, or like I mentioned with NCIC, all of the people who you want to know about would be innately just like, hey, it would fail our system for sure. I know we talked about like what the rules are, market technologies. They're one of the partners, they're essentially just the ones installing the system. Us, we're just a manufacturer. We're the ones that hold up the 10-year warranty. Marco would be installing it. You guys get it all set up. And then the last thought I think I had was what would allow us to forego the RFP process fee. So pretty straightforward. Just one last part, yeah.
Laura, you spend a lot of time on this. Is there anything that we're missing or the council needs to get from update?
I think, very really well. I think you have about, we probably have about 11 access points that need some updating here in City Hall, Police Department. Robotic can provide for that. There's sourceful bid, so you don't have to go out for RFP, to go out for multiple bids. If this is the direction you want to go, we can negotiate with them, present an agreement to you possibly in August. That gives us time to get started this fall and get everything wrapped up here this calendar year.
Also, removing this door that used to be here was part of the getting as few access points as possible. You remember there used to be kind of a useless door that went here to the printer. Yeah, part of the, before we start considering access for this capital improvement project this year, let's look at the access points and is there anything we can do with that? Removing that door was one of them. So we did that in-house in primary IP and
What do you want to shut off that door behind your kids?
yeah, all of those will change, but they have to exist. And this room is really what makes us the most vulnerable. It's because
So
this is
we're
our
looking for the
meeting space. It's just so accessible.
We just want a consensus of what we feel about.
Yeah, so this is Chief Truman's ask. I do think that Tanner has done a really good job and I do think it does all the things that Chief was looking for it to do. Obviously, we wanted to give you the information before we spend, you know, a lot of money in capital. Give Tanner a chance to come and just talk a little bit about the products and make sure that if there were any questions, we address them. But it'll be the second meeting in August when we would shoot this back in front of the council.
Courtney, do you have any concerns?
No, I know it's been on the chief's list for a while to try and make the building more secure, so it's probably time.
Okay,
I'm good with it. Same.
I'm good. So I guess we got a consensus of everybody else.
You asked your presentation.
Thank you guys.
All right, well, it's fine, that's the good unfinished business. That's the resolution number 6721. Southwood Police Department foreign policy, and agreement as amended. In motion, please.
Oh, second.
Okay, this is what brought us back up there. This is just I talked to Sonia about it enough. This is an A policy is A counts A plus, A and A minus. So if we don't want to, if we shut off that, what we'll do is we'll block our people, our local phone companies from being able to get we'll have to get a different insurance policy.
Right, to get enough insurance with an insurance carrier that was rated A or higher was cost prohibitive for some of the companies. A minus is still rated excellent under AM Best's rating system.
So
It's a slightly higher risk, but it is still rated excellent.
So all we're doing here is we still okay the A policy. That's it.
You're going from A and requiring A and above to A minus.
Yeah, right. All these included.
The IML language previously, when our legal team drafted our agreement, called for an A or higher. So it was questionable on if an A minus was still an A rated package. So I did talk to Owen and also Bob Springs, a couple of our insurance liability, experts in our insurance world, to ask them if they would be available today if needed. I did a brief call around. It seemed like the consensus was no, please don't have them come to the meeting. They don't need to be even available virtually. Just have them put something in memo form. So that's what you have in your packet. It basically says that the top tier, yes, in A plus and plus and all of those are superior excellent coverages. But even your A's, your A plus, your A minus is still in the excellent coverage, and that it's a great coverage package. So Owen's recommendation is that we amend the language to include any of the A rated.
Oh, yes, well, is right.
Correct. But Roxanne is absolutely right, that
Yeah, I don't,
an A minus is not as good as an A, so we wanna be sure that we're clear.
I didn't see many A pluses in school, but.
There's not a lot of plus totals that I could see.
All right, anybody else?
Yeah, well, yes.
Megan, please.
Commissioner Morris.
Yes.
Commissioner Franklin.
Yes.
Commissioner Abram.
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
And Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes. I do. I'll make a lot of people happy and proud, right? Discuss approved motion, new business, discuss approved motion item. Discuss approved request to keep Northern Illinois beautiful to host the 2026 Blood Volleyball Tournament at City Park on August 1st, 2026. Motion, please.
Second.
It's great that this is all around, Mayor. You'll remember that we asked Pam Osborne from KNIB to come over a year now to talk to our city council about what does this event really entail, and if they were interested in moving from Roscoe into South Beloit City Park, that they needed to give a real good sales pitch and let the council know exactly what we would be in for. At that time, we asked them, if you're gonna come, please tear up the football field area and not the other side of the walking path. They agreed to that. We asked them to really up their security so that it's not a drain on our local department. And they have done that. They have beefed up and hired their own private security that will do most of the heavy lifting. They do need some help with parking in the initial bid. So we gave them costs to hire back the county and make sure that we have enough bodies to kind of assist at some of the major intersections surrounding the park. But I think that our police and fire departments together have worked well with coming up with an emergency plan of their own. They are prepared for having, up to 2,000 people in the park. I don't think that that's a realistic number year one, but we certainly hope it will become that. As a reminder, they do plan to have Mustangs as a beer provider. They will be selling beer in the park. So that was one of the red flags a year ago is, are we going to allow them to get a vendor, a local vendor, and sell beer in our park? So they've navigated all of that. Jimmy from Mustangs has done all that he needs to do. Our city clerk has gotten him his state certificate in order to go get whatever he needs from the state and move his liquor license on that day. But yeah, we don't have another meeting between now and the event, so ideally we would maybe get this buttoned up for the last agenda in case there were any questions, but I think they have done a really good job for the last year and a half of doing what they said they would do and leaning into our emergency services where needed for support. And we'll be charging back all of that, so if they need 12 hours of fire department, they're gonna pay for 12 hours of fire department, 2 personnel to make sure that they're there. So year one, we're gonna see how it goes. But I really hope this event sticks. Obviously the city of South Beloit doesn't have park and rec staff. We could never pull this event off on our own. So finding partnerships with the right partners is ideal.
The only question I have is about the parking. I see the player entrance. Where are they parked?
This is a really bad map.
Yeah.
I should have told Megan to just pull this map out of here. Actually, Chief Prince was talking about his own map earlier today. But if you just disregard what you see there, when you come down the hill, all the parking that's by the old football field and softball field is going to be paved, that paved lot
Yeah,
is going to be all for ADA, volunteers, staff.
yeah,
If you are a player on that day, you'll be parking in the player lot, which is what they want to do because they want to tailgate, they all want to be there. You go beyond that page parking and take it right beyond the patio. To go all the way down the hill, past our block building where the bathrooms are,
Yeah.
take a right. So they'll be parking in between the walking path and the road.
alright. Are we gonna be putting up like no parking on like
Yes.
Roscoe?
All kinds of roads, all kinds of areas of the park.
Yeah.
We'll put more reminders
That
of
was-
swimming.
And start roll up. And we're gonna close off the east side road. With
Okay.
no parking sign.
The only issue, the only concern I have is for the residents that live on those streets. Is there a way they're gonna be able to ensure that they have parking and not?
Anybody's.
And they did that before. They put up signs on both sides of
That's
all
always.
of the Roscoe and then. And people adhere to it. I think the biggest problem will be to keep people out of on the lake. That's my guess.
They're preparing.
Because they're coming out of that mud, and they're gonna walk over there, and they're not gonna sit in their car.
So all of their insurance security teams that ANIB has, they have one member of that paid security team that's just gonna monitor the water and make sure.
I played in 5 or 6 of them, so I know what they do.
If they do it anyway, then, you know, and we'll have something to do. Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah,
it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for South Lake. And I think if we make sure that the route is clear for any emergency vehicle or the police department, then I think we'll work it out.
It's year one or two.
Yeah, there'll be some bumps in the road. There always is. So we'll,
And Jimmy's very excited about it. He does so much for South Florida. He gives a lot back. You know, it's good for our local businesses. They're gonna have a party there the night before their manager's information party at Los Angeles. So he's, you know, he's excited. He's done everything we've asked him to do. Am I missing anything, Megan?
No, they have been made aware though that for their food trucks, they're planning on having some food trucks. They have been made aware that all of their food trucks must be permitted with the state. So I'm hoping that we get those soon. I did try to call Tina and just do a gentle reminder today, and she was not available, so I didn't leave messages or voice.
this is why when we were talking about every event must have its own security, so that we don't tax our department.
Yep.
Making sure that this way, their security will have to keep their own people on the lake or keep them parked in the right place.
Yeah.
The food trucks will have to be picked or have to be permitted. All right, that's all. We get a motion in second.
I have a motion, so we're just ready for a vote.
All right, please.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Beloit,
yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, discuss approve of request from South Beloit Church of Christ to host a back to school block party and event on Root Avenue and Miller Street to Hackett Street on August 15, 2026. Motion please.
Second.
And we heard from Mr. Wolford earlier, Reverend Wolford, any other discussion on that?
All right. Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I told you to go by right through that. Thank you. Discuss approved listing of 731 Wheeler and Dickerson needs with Dickerson need rid of that church. Try that again. All right. Get a motion, please.
Second.
All right, you got this, I think Courtney knows a lot about it.
Yeah, I'll just tell you, I mean, after the last meeting, I, felt like we should take the property to the market. Yes, there's issues with the property, but there's a giant housing shortage, so let's take the property to the market and see if we have any success. It's been forever since we tried to take the property to the market. It's time to try something new.
I've seen it said it was $60 a square foot compared to 110, 120 on all the resting, so that's about a good price.
There's a lot of houses, like I said, it needs some work, but there's a lot of potential, so we'll see what happens. It is a unique property, the fact that it needs a lot of work. It's hard to price it, but again, let's see what happens.
Good. Anybody else? Megan, please.
Right, Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen,
Yeah.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, discuss approve order 2923 approving the pre-annexation agreement regarding the property commonly known as 14035 Door Road, South Lake, Illinois. 14075 Kennedy Drive, South Lake, Illinois. Authorizing the mayor of the city of South Lake to execute the same. Motion please. I know exactly where this is.
It's a shame. It's like, God.
So this property, the county building department reached out to us and asked, if we were interested in annexing this property into the city. Because the church itself needed to, their zoning is single family residential. In order to put on the pitched roof that they wanted, they needed to have the proper zoning. They were considered, in violation, if you will. And not, they didn't have the accurate zoning for the property in order to put the roof on it. We talked with Rockton and to make sure that there were no hard feelings between either entity, and we annexed the property or pre-annexed the property into the city. The property came in as a public lands and institution with that zoning designation. The church does not have to do a amendment. Typically, when you pre-annex or annex a property into the city, it has to come in as a single family residential, and then you have to do another zoning piece where you rezone it to whatever it is going to function as. With the public lands and institution, it can come in and operate fully as a church, which is what they intend to continue as.
Motion. Well, I think it is all that stuff, but, are you people coming from that? That's what I figured. Well, I don't think we'll see any problem with it, but.
This came with a positive recommendation from the planning.
Megan, please.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Prentice,
Yes.
Mr. Edelman,
Yes.
Mr. Henning,
Yes.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, discuss approve ordinance, number 2924, amendment to section 2 definition, section 13 special use of chapter 1118. Zoning regarding the medical cannabis. Motion, please. Motion.
Second.
We passed that, so you guys are good.
Thank you.
You want to sit down, listen to the rest of this, it's up to you. I,
Thank you.
Thank you.
who has this cannabis stuff?
This would be Shauna or Spiel at the end of the.
So with this one, when the when the Cannabis Act was passed, when that amendment or text amendment was put into place, the medical aspect of the Cannabis Act is not part of the same statute. At that time, the license was only for recreational use, so the medical portion was not included in that. Since then, in order to, the dispensary was able to get a medical license to dispense and distribute. So that's where it came into play. We needed to do a text amendment in order to include that in their licensing.
He's gonna fix up.
There's a Scrivener's error on page 2, if you'll notice, it should say,
Please.
yes, just letters out of place, the dispensing organization shall correspondingly adhere to the provisions of the compassionate use of cannabis.
Station house, please.
Yes, so we will amend that before.
Anybody else? Megan, please.
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner Huntington.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris.
Yeah.
And Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, just approve ordinance 2925, approve an amendment to the special use permit that allowed for the sale or distribution of medical cannabis license under the special use permit for the planned unit development on 1322 Gardner Street, Southwood, Illinois, authorized the mayor of the city of Southwood, Illinois, to execute the same. Motion, please.
Motion. Second.
All we're doing here is just giving them a permit, right?
Yes, now that we've made the text amendment, now we're amending the special use permit.
Anything more to say about that? Megan, please.
Commissioner Edelman,
Yes.
Commissioner Huntington.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes. Discuss approve ordinance number 2926, and section 50-39, emergency services, access to private property regarding the request for the police services and private property in the total ordinance. Motion, please.
Second.
Okay, you want to explain this?
Sure, this was something that came up with the police chief. There are times when our police and fire had to break down a door at the Best Western or remove a lock or break a gate even to get into a property for an emergency call. And this is just, that's for, one thing, the weeds a little.
Sure. Yes, it just gives the emergency access to private property. It explicitly states it in your ordinances. So the police department, and the fire department, this is just the police department, the fire department has a section in there in the code pertaining to them. So this is just providing the language for the police.
If they have to break in, they're breaking.
Yes,
Yeah, they're not responsible for the doors.
right. What's the liability for any damage done to the property owner? Because, give the requirement that they have to reasonably believe that there is police services needed. They're called to the address for an emergency purpose. So there's that protection to your residents.
Anybody else? Megan, please.
All right, Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris.
Yes.
Commissioner Prince.
Yes.
Commissioner Beelman
Yes.
and Mayor Mitchell.
Yes, discuss approve ordinance number 2927, amending the code ordinance for the city of South White, Illinois, chapter 34, environment, article 6, code enforcement, hearing division to authorize administrative hearing officer to enter orders prohibiting further code violations or compel the remediation of existing violations. Motion, please.
Second.
Okay,
This is another win, Mayor. Sean can probably speak back to this, but basically any authority that he gives to our administrative hearing judge when he is here monthly for administrative hearings, the more the better, because it keeps it out of higher levels of court. Yeah, Sean?
Anything right now that we have to pursue any further than the administrative hearing, we have to go to circuit court. This puts the jurisdiction back on Judge Drella or Attorney Drella that acts as our administrative hearing officer.
he doesn't have a power right now.
He doesn't, so he hears the administrative hearing cases, but anything further that we want to do, to file an injunction, I believe that's what it is. Filing an injunction, we have to go to circuit court. When we want to do any of that now, we can go straight to him, unless for some reason we have to go to circuit court. But right now, we can or with this, they'll be able to take care of it locally.
So he does this.
Faster.
Okay.
He's the best.
They can, right, Mark?
I had no idea he was here doing that.
We still have to keep it on one.
Yes. He's also so affordable, so when we can do it right here, faster and cheaper.
Megan,
Commissioner Morris.
Yes.
Commissioner Prince.
Yes.
Commissioner Beelman.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
yes, discuss approve ordinance 2928, amending chapter 2, article 6, finance, division 1, authorizing a change in designated responsibilities for the city of South Beloit. Motion, please.
Second.
Tom had a long list of financial institutions that have needed a lot of updating.
Banks change names.
Yes, they do, banks get bought out, financial institutions change. He wants to get this buttoned up, one, to move some money, into an institution that we don't currently.
Associated Bank is, it was not previously authorized and they contacted us for that investment and we've been trying to put money in local banks. So part of it, the initial request was to add them. But then in looking at the list, we had so many bank change things. So,
Because there's a bank on here that I've worked for, I would be abstaining, but I fully support this.
But both banks, two banks out there that we make it, change names, we had to change all this stuff around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll probably have to do this again in a year or two.
I asked the person at the bank, which I should have asked you, I imagine, but I asked him, I said, why? Why are these banks all selling? Should we take our money?
Your money's fine in the banks. You're
I
fine.
know.
I'm not gonna give a full tutorial.
Well, Megan, please.
Back to life.
Commissioner Prince.
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman, you're seeing, Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris.
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes. Discuss approved resolution 6723, which we have a new insert for that. Accepting the proposal from the PDC automation for Fox thermal mass flow meter installation. Motion first, so give me a second. Okay, Jeff.
So I got the proposal, the mass airflow sensors, we have 6 of them. With treatment plant been around for 5 years now. Every one of them for repairs twice, and they continue to fail. they're not very responsive to getting them fixed from the FCI fluid components. Incorporated company. These are a little bit more, supposed to be a little bit more robust, a little bit more expensive. But what we found when they were doing the assessments, just change out the meters, is that the port on the stainless steel pipe is not the same. And nobody uses that small port, and then when they got to looking at the wiring may be acceptable for FCI, but it wasn't shielded, and we need to replace wire. This number that we have here, the 41,000, is for the meters, the 22,000 is for labor, and that's a price not to exceed. I looked for other options that had meters available within reasonable distance from here, and I did not find anybody. It's kind of a specialized thing. They do use these types of equipment in the oil fields and some of the gas and petroleum production, but nothing is for us.
Is that longevity of these 5 years?
The new company says no, they should last 10 years. The company that I've been dealing with, I can't get responses from. In fact, I have wanted to have a replacement. A year ago, I ordered it, I still haven't received it. We have one of our 6 meters that have been sent out a year ago, and we haven't seen that. Now they don't know where they get it. So to that point, I had enough of them and looked for a different option. The salespeople, the group that handles these meters out of Milwaukee, the FCI was handled Heritage, which is over by Mokina. And it was really hard to get that salesperson here. The new salesperson with this new company was ready to get here within a week and assess it, and he's been out twice since to make sure everything's gonna fit right. So I really have gotten a good vibe about that. PDC is the one that's putting it together. They're out of Monroe. They used to have a Monroe and a Freeport office. They closed the Freeport office. PDC is a precision drive control. Their electrical contractor warehouse.
Is that a poor choice when they built the plant?
I don't know. I think it was just maybe didn't quite fit the application. Don't know that who really made the choice on those. There's 32 things that didn't quite fit right, and this is one of my beliefs that I do want to remind everybody that as the treatment plant gets older, there'll be things from time to time that are going to have to get replaced. I'm not surprised that we don't have to replace something now after 5 years. I didn't know it was going to be these. I think these should have been a little bit more robust than they were. Lots of little things went into it that maybe had more care been put into the installation of them.
And they were trying to cut the costs, and here they decided to go with a cheaper model or something.
Possibly, and I don't know that for specifically, but that's very good.
Yes.
I would not argue your point, what you're making there at all.
Right.
Good.
One addition, we're gonna have to amend this. When I amended it and what you have before you, I amended the whereas clauses. I did not amend recitals. So I need to add into the recitals so I can read it into the record. What I would amend paragraph 2 is going to become the city hereby waives the public bid requirement pursuant to section 2-488 of the city of South Beloit Code of Ordinances due to the agreement with the PDC automation meeting the needs of the city by a 2/3 vote of the passing of this resolution. I will need to add that in. We need a motion to amend this.
I'll make a motion to amend those.
Yes, second.
Oh, sorry, I'll make a motion to amend. And then we'll motion cast the amendment.
So I'll make a motion to amend
Recitals.
Sorry. All in favor? Okay, now make a motion to as amended.
I make a motion to.
As amended.
Second.
Okay. Megan?
We'll do it all in one vote.
You're expending funds, so we'll need a.
That's it.
Commissioner Edelman,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
and Mayor Fisher.
Yes, okay, moving on. start to approve resolution number 6724. What?
No.
This one?
No, that's you just asked. The beeping, recycling.
I wanna make sure we have all five. Yeah, too.
Keep up with us.
So,
Approve resolution number 6724, approving the agreement with Southwest Historical Society to provide lawn service. Motion, please.
Oh, sorry.
All right,
Steve wants to kill me for this one, but at the end of the day, the truth is, you know, we have, we're very fortunate to have a small group of people who still pour their heart and soul into the historical society and keep up the wheelhouse. One of the things that they have recently asked is that hill is a little treacherous for them. Most of them are in their eighties. And they have asked if our city would consider mowing the place. Against Steve's dirty looks and stares, I do suggest that this is something the city take on, because at some point, we've been all the time. At some point, we're gonna be faced with managing the maintenance of this facility on our own, or letting historical homes go. So right now, the ask is about mowing, and I think anytime they come and they want a few $1,000s for, new windows or upkeep, I think while we have people who still love and care about that home, we need to try to do whatever is within reason, so.
we have a very small group of
I know.
older people, older people
See, can we handle mowing for them?
that they.
Yeah, put together,
And people donate their time up there and everything, but
we need to get. Yeah.
There's two.
but we're not gonna get any piece of this construction, right?
Commissioner Heisen,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman,
Yes.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, council approve resolution number 6725, approving the memorandum of understanding between the city of South Beloit and Ontario County, Illinois Department of Transportation, and the city of Beloit, Rock County, Wisconsin Department of Transportation regarding the bridge on Park Avenue over Turtle Creek. Motion, please.
Second.
Yeah. This was a item that I really. Go ahead.
So this came about, Wisconsin, I got reached out and brought our attention that there is a new federal, code of federal regulations. I came out that anytime a bridge is between jurisdictions and it touches multiple municipalities, they want an agreement in place. And they need one of the states, if it's between states, which your bridge is. One of the states we named as the lead state, they take, they're being responsible for inspections. And this MOU focuses on inspections.
Yes.
And the state of Illinois needs to take the lead on the inspections. This replaces and repeals the 2008 agreement. The city has ways the county is going to take inspections. And this replaces that. The county will no longer be responsible for the inspection. The state of Illinois will be. This does not change the city's obligation to maintain the bridge, keep it free of gravel, clear the snow in the winter. This does not mean the city is responsible for replacing and repairing the bridge. I know that's a concern.
That's what I was worried about. I read that, I read the agreement. They signed back then, it almost sounded.
We already have an agreement in place that carves out maintenance. So our requirements for what we have to do does not change.
What do they consider maintenance? So that's
Yes,
what
Yes, and we did some legal research on this. What is maintenance of a bridge? How far does it go? There is a difference between your regular maintenance and rehabilitation. Repairs that deal with the structure. Federal funds are available for infrastructure, and the states will help local municipalities obtain those funds when it's time to structurally repair this bridge. I know that's not a promise, that's not in writing, that's not in this, but it doesn't, no agreement about this bridge touches on the reconstruction of it.
But it didn't in our previous agreement.
Right.
Well, kind of means that it doesn't give us more or less responsibility. It was primarily who's responsible for doing the inspections.
Yeah. This is all, this is about using this thing, expansion, which. I don't know, I remember when they built.
Just a couple more things too. The federal law requires that an agreement be put in place naming a state as the lead state. So that's what this MOU does. It names the state of Illinois as the lead state. And then I did, in speaking with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, they indicated that typically when a bridge needs infrastructure repair or replacement, federal funds are sought and they help the states, help the local municipalities obtain these federal funds. Federal funds pay for 80%, and I mean 20% is divided among the municipalities that touch the bridge. In our case, it would be the city of Beloit, the city of South Beloit, the county, Rock County, and Winnebago. We're looking at potentially, yes, in the replacement of the bridge, about 5% of the cost, but we're not there. And this MOU does not change the city's obligations from.
You want to build a walking path to the left thing,
That would not be maintenance.
that's what I'm saying. Okay.
We also know, we confirmed that the bridge was built in 1988. And this day and age, they try to build bridges with 100-year mindset. So we're not due for replacement anytime. We're assuming it just spurred a lot of questions that we tried to make.
That's all I would say. Come on, Megan.
Commissioner Morse,
Yes.
Commissioner Prince,
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
and Mayor Fish.
Yes, discuss and approve resolution number 6726, approving purchase of an excavator for the Johnson tractor at a cost not to exceed $71,685.15 for the city of South Beloit. Motion please.
Oh.
Sorry.
I,
Steve probably
Go ahead.
wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit bigger than the one we demoed through Johnson Tractor. It's gonna give us a little more reach, a little more weight, a little more horsepower. I already did the calling around with everybody. And they come in under sort of a little bit, so they knocked about 22,000 off the top price. Yeah, and I have 5 inlets for sure that we need to start working on with it. We're gonna use it to help dig the pits for volleyball, and looking back here in the alleyway, I have 2 more inlets, so I'm gonna add to the list as well.
I also want to add, he's got a 2001 backhoe
Yeah.
that to replace that piece of
Yeah,
equipment.
it's expensive, and right now it's having issues with shipping. It's got a mechanical ship in it, or sorry, a toggle one that goes from forward. And that is electrical, and that's going out for the last, when I had the guy come out and do the PM on our loader. He said we were looking at just about $6,000 just for that little unit around steering column. He said that's not a guarantee that will fix 100% one.
So fixing it would not be worth it.
I don't think so.
No, I mean, we're going to probably get this.
Yeah, I don't think it is because the hydraulics are getting slow, and we fixed a coolant leak on it, Ryan, that did last year. And we still smell coolant on it this year, and I noticed that 2 of the freeze plugs on the block are corroding and starting to pop on it as well. So and the AC doesn't work, and there's a few windows that are cracking. So we'll hang on to it and use it as long as we can until it gets to the point where it's gotta go.
I'm convinced that if mini excavators would have been a thing 20-30 years ago, we probably would have had a mini instead of the backhoe, but who knows? Anyway, he's got a longer list of things that he can do with this smaller piece of equipment.
Well, we're renting one all the time, plus it's not bad to have input. I mean, it could be used for multiple things.
Yeah, and it fits in a lot tighter spaces than the backhoe will, a lot more agile. If you're cleaning ditches or whatnot, you can have a machine sideways and keep walking down as you're cleaning, where the backhoe you're want to get following feet every time.
And Don already said yes, so put that.
This is not budget. But we do have funds, in the capital project fund that when we do our transfers at the end of the year, we have funds to cover this.
Sounds like a win-win to me.
Money there, will affect our packages for next year. He's getting what would have been a
You know, you're gonna
2027.
talk yourself right out of this. Come on, Megan.
Where you at?
Commissioner Prince,
Yes.
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, that's for resolution number 6727, improvement grant agreement for organized retail crime grant program, motion. Who wants to handle this one?
I can handle this one. This is one that Chief was hoping to get. He had put in for it. We did get it. It's in the amount of $15,000. It goes to supplement a variety of different cameras throughout the city. Somebody, I think some stationary dash cams maybe. Either way, the amount is 15. We would certainly not have any legal recommendations to the MOU accepting the money. So Roxanne said, when you get it, when it does come through, just put it immediately on an agenda for approval, but you know, we wouldn't ask the state to change any language anyway, we would just say.
Next time somebody send us money, we ought to be here.
Yeah, we smile and we'll sign. But this is a repeat one, he does apply for this every year, he's gotten it a couple years in a row now. And hopefully it continues to help the top of all of this.
License cameras was the best. Okay,
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice,
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
yes, that's for resolution number 6728, approving a hotel motel park grant application to the Stonewall Athletic Club, motion for. Well. This, I can, you want to go ahead?
You want me to?
I can present if you would like.
Sure. You're right.
So hotel motel, we met and discussed the application that we received from the Solo Athletic Club. They would like to have a end of summer shindig on August 15th at Viking Lanes / Black Rock School. It's supposed to be a community event with a market, volleyball, back tournament, raffle, food, bingo, and games. They're anticipating 500 people to attend the event. It's a repeat event and they're asking for $5,000. They anticipated it'll cost between $10,000 and $15,000 to have the event. The biggest question is whether or not they will have hotel rooms for hotel motel Sunday for the committee. According to their application last year, they had 10 hotel rooms, and this year they're expecting to have 20 to 30 hotel rooms. However, when we look at that, we were a little bit skeptical as far as the number of rooms that they were actually going to be using based on the type of event. We weren't sure. They said that they were going to be people from out of town. But there wasn't a clear definition as far as what they meant by out of town, because out of town could be Roughton, Beloit, other places. I think it's a good organization to give money to, but I don't think that it qualifies for hotel motel money. And so we had a negative recommendation based off of that for this fund.
I have a question.
Good.
This is a repeat event, they said?
Yes.
Yeah. And they said it was about $10,000 to $15,000. Did they provide any receipts to?
No,
that?
and they did not provide any documentation to back up that they had 10 rooms from last year either. They didn't go to any hotels and get any letters saying we had a block of rooms for this event and this many rooms were used. Well, the only thing that they submitted was this application that's contained in.
Do we have any knowledge that the Southwood School District has donated money to the Solo Booster Club?
We do not.
I can add a couple things.
Go ahead.
I did call the superintendent, one, to make sure that he was aware that the booster club had applied for this funding. Not that it's a reach, certainly people are aware of this money, we have historically supported the Cornwood. So, I think that it came with good intentions, but at the end of the day, you know, is a special event, especially a fundraising arm of another taxing body. You know, should this be abused? And so we did ask the legal to provide an opinion on that as well, which Attorney Godin can comment to, but just so that the board is aware. I would love to find more creative uses for our school districts to work together and spend some of the hotel motel money. So I did leave Nick Rubenhoff a message and basically told him, let's get superintendents together and find out, are there bike paths, are there ADA improvements to the confluence or to the city park? Things like that, that are truly the Wheeler House, that are open to the public for everyone to use and not a specific event. So I did try to soften the blow because I knew that this was gonna come with a negative recommendation. But we can find creative ways if the superintendent and I get together and find some ways to spend some of that money. But we have a bike path that desperately needs the funding. It's a very good use. We have a city park parking lot that desperately could use the funding. It's a very good use. Nature confluence could use some ADA accessibility from the gravel parking lot to the building. That's a really good use. So we just have to get with the schools and say, here's a really good way to spend our local money. What can we do that everyone agrees is great?
Yes, the main thing with using hotel motel funds is you have to use it on events that bring in overnight guests to your city. I think you all know that. So this isn't new information, it's just a matter of, does this event fit this description, and do we think that overnight guests are going to be there? The recommendation from the committee is no. If the recommendation is no, and belief is that this will not bring in overnight guests, then it is not a use, it's not a proper use of hotel motel funds.
Okay. You know, I thought a lot about this too. And what bothers me is sitting up here, we voted through the years before I was here for the same fest they had down there, everybody give them $10,000 whether people stay overnight. And we sat here and we voted for Beloit, or that 50th, whatever it is out there in Roscoe, that they have that. Yeah, but that was, I know that was out of funds. That was out of funds. I understand. But they come to us, we said, fine, we give them 10,000. But this is something that has something to do with our schools. It's so whole boosters and that. But I think any time that we can support our schools, then we should. And to me, when somebody says, well, we had 10 rooms last year, they can't prove it. If we give money this year, we just say, hey, you gotta have a record like we did with everybody else. Have a record, you know, but we did it with Lions Club. If you wanna, we give you money, show us the dollar, the amount, what you spent on advertising, what you spent on everything else. And to me, I don't care who's doing what, but if it has something to do with schools and more people here, I think our South Beloit should support it. That's my view.
And expending funds from general, that we don't have to consider hotel motel.
Yeah, but they said we're gonna have 30 rooms. We'll call them a ladder.
I think
Do we have a place? You take $5,000 other than the tourism.
The ask didn't come from that, the ask came just.
Also.
Yeah, but
I think we can change.
So what
I think we did.
we did go, yeah. We can't give it to a hotel motel and give it out of the fund, but I think the hotel motel, we should give it out of there because there's a fund that's there for that. That's why it's there. They give it to have events and functions, and if people come to town and stay overnight. And I'm not gonna call somebody a liar for, they said, well, they're gonna have 30 rooms. That might be guessing a little high, I don't know. But if they're drinking and don't wanna drive, that's a good place.
And it may not be that they're intentionally saying 20, 30 rooms when they don't expect that. It's
They're also
it's
saying
when
it's.
you look, sorry.
Go ahead.
When you look at what the application says, do you believe that hotel rooms are going to be used?
I don't know.
That's what your decision is whether what's described in the application will use hotel rooms within your city. And then that would be a proper use of hotel funds. And if you
Who's to say how many rooms right now?
it's overnight, it just brings in overnight
It
guests.
would be 5 overnight or 30, 25.
We are to say, right,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not given up.
I am not opposed to giving money to the booster club. Don't think you take it out of tourism money this year. Because we have an organization, we have a group that looks at that, they say it doesn't fit. Find 5,000 from general fund or wherever, so that they can do it. But next year, these are the things you have to prove. You have to prove it with some paper, not just you saying. It's here, we're gonna work with you this year, but next year, if you want it out of the tourism money. You gotta show us that that's what it really belongs. Otherwise, there's no point.
Is there 5,000 general funds that?
Yeah. Not specifically, yeah.
I don't dispute that the families and children of the city of South Beloit are worthy of funds. I do dispute that whether or not South Beloit School District is worthy of funds. They continuously underperform. They spend $18,000 per student. And provide, what is it? 50% of those students in the city of South Beloit are ELA ready for the next level, whereas another school district in town spends $12,000 per student, and 87% of those students meet and exceed those expectations. I'm not comfortable giving the South Beloit School District anything related to, if they can't prove that they have given their own booster club money, why should?
The two things that cause me concern are even 50 North. It's a difficult sell. Although we came up with it when the money was there because it's the only senior programming we could identify. We do have more than one school district. I think generally funding special events, especially for other taxing bodies, is a really dangerous practice. I think if this board feels strongly of finding a way to donate money out of the general fund, we can do that. I would also warn you that state share taxes continue to diminish, and our next 2 to 3 budget cycles are going to get worse. Adding people to the list of special events that we support is going to get tighter and harder. Of course, we'll find the money if that's what we're going to do right now, but the hotel motel is definitely a dangerous reach. There are valid uses of that money that we should try to stay in line with. And I would just say that, this didn't come from the school district. It came from a fundraising arm of the school district. Maybe we should touch base with the school district and find out if this is what they best think $5,000 could be done for their students.
I think we're getting a little sidetracked. We need to decide whether or not we're gonna say yes or no to the hotel and motel tax. Beyond that, if we want to give them direction to somewhere else, you can give them direction to somewhere else, talk to the school district, but today we don't think we need to give it to. So that's what's before, that's what they have to do today. If you want to give them direction, go some other direction, give them direction for something else. Today is the. We don't have an ask outside hotel motel, so we can't just do it. We don't have direction, we all can express our opinions, but we don't have an ask outside of this, that's what.
Yeah, but we've changed everything before. We changed everything that comes up with it. It doesn't just right, we amend it and then vote on it. So I don't think that's the choice. The point is, if it doesn't fit with hotel motel, put in general fund. I mean, if it doesn't fit, we amend it, just like we do in the other thing. I just think it's because it's sitting here and just voting on it every time we vote on every other thing that comes along here, gives them money. And then all of a sudden, we don't want to give these people money because they're a booster club. Well, if they're doing something for South Beloit and they're doing something for the kids to help them, later on. Yeah, I support that 100%.
We did deny the Boys and Girls Club. Can't remember if that was about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but they put in an ad, and we denied it. And we didn't get the payment. We didn't change their ask. I know it's not, sorry.
I have a problem that it's a guesstimate of 10 to 15,000. problem with this, school district, we don't know if they've donated money. Just don't understand why we don't, their own district, they're supporting funding. I mean, I'm one of 5, it doesn't matter to me. My vote is very good one.
So can you amend this or not?
Yes, and that's why there are blanks in the resolution as drafted. So you can give the direction on the floor that. Right now, the resolution reads that the South Beloit Athletic Club submitted the application and the funding grant for use of hotel motel funds. It explains the hotel motel review committee in their recommendation that the funds are not appropriate for the event. And then it has a blank for the city desires to. So we can have an amendment. The city desires to might be something in the positive, because motions or resolutions are written in positive. It could be the city desires to award such funds. And the city hereby award such funds, and then if your vote would be not to award funds, your vote would be no. If you desire to award funds out of a different category, out of the general funds, we can amend this to say the city desires to award such funds not from hotel motel funds, but from general. And then the city hereby awards. That's whether or not you can change the amount. That was requested. You can change the funds, and then you would vote on the resolution as
It changes to 2,500 out of general funds.
that can be done. That
That would be kind of compromise between everything. I don't know.
We know,
Huh?
do we know everything what we give our money to for like Beloit and Bradford? Do we have a list of everything that
They said they want to spend our money on it.
yeah, can we give them money?
I don't know. I've been against that for years. But yeah,
We do get quarterly reports from them, so we give a certain percentage, between 20% to Go Rockford and 20% to the Beloit. This board reduced that to 10% to each of those entities. So now the city of South Beloit keeps 80% of our hotel motel money, 10% goes to the Beloit, 10% goes to Go Rockford. I sit on both of those boards, and they do provide quarterly reports that we have to sign out.
neither one has the name South Beloit. That's the money goes there.
Well, they're very specific
I
about
don't
it.
know.
They follow the Reserve Bureau. They do it way better than small.
Well, I see the problem here. I think I propose that we change this to 2,500 and take it out of the general fund. That'd be kind of a something for something, and if they come back next year with a proof that they had a lot of rooms or whatever, then maybe it'll be a better deal. Make a motion that we change it 2,500 and take it out of the general fund. You get a second?
I will second that.
Okay, so then it would be, the resolution would be amended to say the city desires to award the South Beloit Athletic Club $2,500 out of the general fund. And that would be the whereas statement.
Yeah.
Number 2 on the recitals would be the city hereby awards $2,500 to the South Beloit Athletic Club out of the general funds. I will amend this, no matter how the vote goes, I will amend this and give this to me. So she has what the official resolution was voted on. So motion and second on the amendment. This is the vote.
This is the vote for the Megan.
Commissioner Cuddy,
Yes.
Commissioner Morse,
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice,
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman,
No.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes. 4-1 pass. Okay, discuss approve hiring.
So 1 second, we amended the resolution, now we need to vote to pass the resolution as.
Oh, we did that before. Okay, Megan, try it again.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Megan. Because we amended the resolution, that motion and second was just to, yeah, we need another
Awesome.
motion.
okay,
Second.
Now that we're voting on the actual.
Next, no.
Yes, now you're voting on.
I
resolution.
will say something quickly, which is, I'm gonna vote for this, but I do think we're setting. And I think that, I agree with you. With the kids, et cetera, but I think we are at risk of looking at this. Listen, this isn't about whether or not it's a referendum of the 5 of us supporting the children and families in the city of South Beloit. It's about using public taxpayer money that should be coming from the district itself for its fundraising purposes. I don't think anybody is going to be coming into town for a bags thing down at Viking Lanes or wherever they're gonna put it. I'm sorry, I've never attended a bags tournament. I know that those things can get serious. I doubt highly that there's professional bags players coming in from over 50-mile radius for this. Again, I support fully the families and children and teachers in the city of South Beloit. I think they all do great work, right? I just don't think that we should be being asked to support a booster club that is, supported by the largest taxing body in the city.
Yeah, but this Jackson body has also gave us money back for when we brought in the cookie factory over here, and we had to change all the sewers and everything else, and they've done things for us because we asked them to. It took some of their, they get 61%, I understand that, but they did, make sure that there was a few times here that they stepped up. And I'm not talking about just Southway High School. I'm talking about boostering the kids that are doing that. And anytime that I think, I'll say, anytime I think that we can help them, I'd rather do that than give it to the 50 club down in the Roscoe. I don't care where it is. And that's the way I feel about it. We all feel different. Megan, the last time.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice,
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman,
No.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, discuss approve hiring Brandon Roderick for part-time firefighter paramedic at a rate of $24 an hour. Motion, please.
So.
Second.
How much to talk about? All in favor, or Megan, please?
Commissioner Prentice,
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, discuss approve hiring Nicholas Jacob, part-time firefighter EMT at a rate of $19 an hour. Motion. Second,
Second.
Megan,
Commissioner Edelman,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice,
Yes.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
yes, discuss approve hiring Joel Hanley, part-time firefighter EMT at a rate of $19 an hour. Motion.
So.
Second.
Megan, please.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice,
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, discuss approve hiring Ethan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner-
Yes.
Sorry.
This here, that his name was not on our last hiring motion.
I'll get HR and then.
Yeah. We're gonna discuss approve hiring Ethan Creighton Hill, part-time firefighter EMT at $19 an hour.
So.
Second.
Megan,
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice,
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
yes. Let's make a motion to go into executive session at you see the clock. It's right on 6:1. 6 months.
Okay, do I need a motion?
Is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
We're staying here.
Yes.